Okay, so this time I'm hoping you guys can actually hear me. Kind of funny because now it's telling me that my rotation is locked. So hold on. Okay, so of course this is the lab girl checking in with you guys, going live. Hopefully you can hear me over my AC. Um, hey Landon, can you hear me okay? Because I have a guy mowing my lawn, or not mowing my lawn, but blowing the thing, and then I got the AC. So yesterday you guys could not hear me. So let me know if you can hear me. That'd be great before I start. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm pretty sure most of you guys probably came in on my live yesterday and I didn't have any sound, so I apologize about that. But I decided to come back today at noon, at least for maybe 10 minutes, so I can just go over again what I was probably trying to relay to you guys yesterday. So, first of all, happy Tuesday. I really appreciate you guys watching this live, and I want to just talk about some fixation tips that you guys can study, and some fixation things that I did whenever I was studying for the Ascp. So, in the Frida book, let me just get to the fixation. Okay. So what I'm going to tell you guys is for fixation, you definitely want to write down all of your fixatives. Just start from scratch like that. So we got acetic acid, formaldehyde, glutaldehyde or glute, gloxyl, mercuric chloride, oxymosium testosteride, picric acid, potassium dichromate, zinc salts. So write all of those down. First thing you want to make sure that you make you some type of columns of what's non-aqueous and what's aqueous. That's important. What's coagulant and what's non-coagulant. That's important. So for the first half of the fixes that I just named, I have acetic acid. They're both coagulant and non-coagulant. And in this chapter, this book is huge. Okay, so in this chapter, I have for some notes that the acetic acid is both coagulant and non-coagulant, so that's really important. Another thing is that acetic acid actually swells the tissue, so that's another thing that acetic acid does for a fixative. Um, but if they're added to other fixatives to counteract the shrinking effect of another reagent, so they can be added to other fixatives to counteract. That's important to know. Red blood cells, RBCs, are lysed by acetic acid. So any type of um, anything that you're doing that has RBCs, um, make sure that you know that acetic acid cannot be used for that. Um, Acetic acid should be stored at room temperature, and acetic acid should be added to water and never the other way around. Funny story, I was doing some hydrochloric acid the other day, and I was adding. It was funny because like I had a brain fart. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, is it water to acid or acid to water? And I was like, okay, before I miss these two, I don't want to blow up. And I was other histo. Okay, so I was asking other histotechs, should it be acid to water or water to acid? And I was like, I should know this. And then other histo text was like, I should know this too. So it's always acid to water. That will be on the ASCP. So acetic acid should be added to water, never the other way around. So that's important to know. Formaldehyde is a non-coagulant. It's gel-based. It's a colorless gas. Sorry, guys, it's the teeth. It's a colorless gas, and it's 37 to 40%. That's the stock. And let's see here. So we got paraformaldehyde is used in EM. So definitely read about formaldehyde, acetic acid. So we got, that's a non-coagulant. Let me see here. Formaldehyde is a non-coagulant and an additive fixative. So that's already categories right there. So we got 3 categories, right? Coagulant, non-coagulant, aqueous, non-aqueous, and additive and non-additive. So 3 categories that you're going to be listing these things under. Lipids are preserved by formaldehyde but not made insoluble, and prolonged storage in formalin leads to gradual loss of lipids. That's really important. Lipids are dissolved by alcohol and xylene. Formaldehyde penetrates and adds very quickly. That's the great thing about formaldehyde. It fixes very slowly because it takes a long time to cross-link the tissue proteins, and formaldehyde causes less shrinkage than any other fixative. Let me see what else I have here. Make sure your formalin is buffered. That's important. Which is NBF. So make sure that your formalin is buffered. When it comes to formalin, make sure you guys study the pictures here, formalin pigment, and how formalin pigment should be removed. That's important. And if you notice what formalin pigment looks like, there are 3 types of pigment: mercuric pigment or mercury pigment, formalin pigment, and chromate salts. Your 3 pigments. Make sure you understand all 3 pigments and how to treat and remove the pigments. Just make sure you read through all your formalins. Calcium formalin, there for phospholipids in tissue, for preservation of phospholipids. Casual astrocyte procedure is for formalin ammonium bromide. 10% nitrobufalin, which we use every day in the lab, is highly used for routine formalin fixation. The pH is 6.8 and is hypotonic in the buffer ions. So NBF, 10% NBF. Also, too, alcoholic formalin, and it is useful for fixatives on the tissue processor because, let me back up. The solution is a compound fixative, but is categorized with the other formalin solutions. It is useful as a fixative on the tissue processors because in addition to fixation, the dehydration process is also begun. It's a good fixative solution when the time for fixation and formalin alone is inadequate. So that's what alcoholic formalin is good for. Let's go to glute. Glute we use for muscle, and we submit glute or muscle biopsies or a sample of muscle in glute to EM. So I do use glute on a daily. Glutaldehyde is non-coagulant, and there are different aldehydes that you want to make sure that you understand as well, and that will be on your ASCP. Glutaldehyde is used for EM, for electron microscopy. Glute is frequently used for fixation of specimens for EM because it preserves ultrastructure, the best of any aldehydes. And normally with glute samples, we let that process for 24 hours in the fridge. So that's one thing about glute. Let's see here. For glute, there's all the aldehydes will be gloxyl. It's the smallest D aldehyde, and that's non-coagulant. And let's see here. Okay, so if you see a question about H. pylori, it says the statement of H. pylori is unsatisfactory. Erythrocytes are lyse and granules of eosinophils are dissolved. So gloxyl would not be a great fixative for H. pylori. Also, too, you want to make sure you understand about bone marrow, about mercuric chloride, which is great for bone marrow biopsies. It is a coagulant, and in that chapter, that is another pigment, which is the mercury salt. You want to make sure you understand how the mercuric chloride or the pigment can be removed within if you get mercury pigment, and how it looks when it's deposited on the tissue. So study those pictures. And let's see here. Oxymosium is not a coagulant, and the primary use is for fixation in EM as well. It chemically combines with lipids, making them insoluble, and it preserves fat. So oxymosium preserves fat. So if they ask you what type of fixative preserves fat, think of when you think of oxymosium, I guess you could think of O for maybe overweight. So preserve fat, overweight, just some type of little hint that'll help you remember that. Picric acid is a coagulant and is not for DNA or RNA, and it shrinks the tissue and is great for glycogen. Let me see what else here. It leaves DNA soluble. And picric acid must be washed out of the tissue before processing. So that will be on the Ascp as well. Make sure you know about potassium dichromate. It's a both non-coagulant and coagulant. And I think, just by memory, what else is both non-coagulant and coagulant? And that will be formaldehyde. So, okay. I'm going to have to get my phone set up right in the car. Hold on 1 minute. Okay. It's so hot. Okay, so B5, Bowen, Gender, Holland, Zinker and Healy, Orth, Zamboni, and Zinc. We'll go over those. I'll make some time to go over those with you guys as far as the remainder of your fixatives. Just for the first half, try to remember and make your own little categories to help you remember what goes in each category, because trust me, they will be on Ascp. If you guys taken Ascp recently, I think Landon you have, if you're still in here, you can let me know what type of fixative questions that you did get. Just let me know, because I'm pretty sure the questions haven't changed, that much as far as like as far as fixation is concerned. Also, to look in your Frida Carson book, there is a page where it shows you guys all the different breakdowns of your fixatives, what makes it a great fixative, what is good for, what is not good for, storage, and everything. Another thing is, as far as the community posts, you guys know that I post the community post questions. Make sure you are doing those questions. You guys have done great on those questions. These past 3 questions. I know I reposted the questions twice, so I apologize, but you guys have done great when it comes to those questions. You guys are getting a lot of the answers correct. We'll go over those answers as soon as I'm able to go over those answers. If you guys like these lives and enjoy these quick study tips with me, make sure to thumbs up the video whenever you enter in this video, so that way I know I can continue to do these types of lives. I'm going to go ahead and go, you guys. I really appreciate it, because my phone is overheating, so I apologize. But I'll try to come back to finish doing the rest of fixation with you, and then we'll go over the study questions. And be sure to check out the community post, because I'll list some more fixation questions later today. And then I'm going to try to also do a Q&A with you guys. So you know how we'll start to do the end of the month live Q&As. Maybe we can start that again, and maybe this weekend I'll just go live like this, and we can do a Q&A. I can answer your questions, or just go over a little bit more in detail without rushing to work. So I hope you guys have a great day. If you are studying for your test, good luck on everything, and keep me posted like you guys want me to do. I really appreciate it. Do not forget to join the gang, and I will see you guys in my next live. Bye.